following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, why every man in thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself to known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
British, punk, yo, what I wanna be, Jimmy Star's new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. A very good friend of mine who's been on the show many times, Steve Bacic, is coming on. He's got a new movie on Tubi. And then we have Melanie Kinnaman coming on. She's a final girl, so it's all good. And I'm looking forward to it. Before we get started, let's say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hello. Let's try it this week. My knee is getting better, but still hurts. But anyway, I'm looking at myself with this hair. I look like B. Arthur from the Golden Girls. Don't I look like B. Arthur from the Golden Girls? A little bit. Ma, stop. So my hair has to be cut. But, I've been in pain. I didn't give a damn about my hair. So I let it grow. But it has to be cut. Or I look like George Washington. What are you doing under?
I just keep talking. There's all kinds of things going on, and everybody doesn't have to know, but now they do because you said that.
Well, I mean, you're on television and you're working your computer.
I'm always doing that because there's people talking.
Okay. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, you're doing better with your knee, so that's a great thing. And,
yes, I'm walking without a cane. I'm walking on my own. Slowly, carefully, painfully. But it seems to be progressing and getting better. And the doctors are very pleased with the way it's healed. And the people I go to for therapy, they're very happy with the way I throw my leg around and move it and bend it. So everything is good with that. So we're positive about that, folks.
Yes, absolutely. It's terrific.
And the good news is Jimmy's movie is going to be done.
Yes, The Red River, we're getting ready to go into pre-production. We're very excited with it. You guys see all the promos on my social media every way. I'm putting out all kinds of videos for it on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, so it's a lot of fun. And we'll have more information hopefully next week about when exactly we're going to get going. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. The film is written by Ming Ballard. It's going to star Ming Ballard. Jennifer James is directing it. And Ron has a cameo in it. And I'll be promoting it and producing it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I was so honored that director Jennifer James said, Ron, you have to be in the movie. I said, well, what part? And she said, the part of the scientist. And I read it, and it's a little itty-bitty part. And I said, Jen, I don't do little parts anymore. I only do, major parts in movies. She said, I know, but we want you in our movie. So I said, okay, I'll do a cameo. And that's all it is a cameo.
It's a cameo, but the movie's going to theater, so it'll be a good one. It's going to have an A-list cast, so I'm very much looking forward to it and getting it going.
You do things for friends. And I love Jen and Ming. They're very good friends of ours.
Plus, you're into more of their movies. Plus, you're doing 2 other movies with huge roles in the other 2.
yeah, but that's not the reason why I'm doing the cameo, Jimmy.
No, because the cameo came first.
Right, and I've read the script of the cameo, and I've worked it out where I could make that cameo very important, not just a cameo. So I'll work with Jen about it and see if she likes the idea. We'll shoot it her way, and then we'll shoot it my way, and see which way we'll use. That's what makes a movie good. when the actor and the director can work together to get the shot they want.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be great. We'll know more soon. Lots of stuff happening on the movie front all around. We can't talk about some of it yet, but Red River, it looks like it's going to come through. We've signed agreements and stuff, so everything should be getting going. And
Not easy getting money for movies when you're up in the millions. You know, these pay to go-go, what are they called? Go-go?
pay to play.
No, go-go. film.
Indiegogo. Well, that's
The
it's still pay to play.
Indiegogos are all in the 30,000 to 150,000. That's not so hard to get. But when you're doing a feature film that's going to go to theaters and it's in the millions, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 million, it's not easy getting that kind of money. Hopefully things will get better with lenders, and they'll understand that a movie is the same as a stock. It can go up or it can go down. But if a movie makes money, it makes a lot of money. And the investor is very happy.
We're going to make money. Our films are going to be really good. It's going to be fun.
I mean, even a crappy film, a junky, nothing garbage film, which I've seen, if it goes to whatever,
Theaters?
those channels.
Oh, streaming services.
Yeah, streaming services. It makes money. It never really loses money unless it's a total dog.
Well, it depends on how big the budget is, because I know a lot of people who've lost money. But
Well, yeah, the smaller the budget, the easier it is to make money. If you're talking about a $5 million movie, you have to make a lot of sales to cover that. But if you're in a $150,000 movie, it's very easy to make money on it, because what the hell is $150,000 today?
Again,
Nothing.
it just depends, because the problem is
You buy
the
a
distributors
car.
are so crooked. They steal the money and they don't pay you, even on the low budget. So
Well, you got to be
they get
careful.
screwed. So you definitely got to be careful. We want to say hi to the chat room. Cindy Lady Lake's in the chat room. Stefan Bell's in the chat room. Hub Reynolds Jr. just showed up in the chat room. What's up, Hub? The chat room is starting to fill up. We want to give a shout out to Dawn Hinton, who's at therapy. So she said she's probably going to be late if she makes it.
Why is she in therapy?
She had a shoulder surgery, I think.
That's another painful one.
Yeah, that's a painful one.
Anytime you fool around with your bones, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
No, but bone damage, when they break bones and they twist you around. Anyway, move on.
It's freaking terrible. And if you guys actually saw, so when we were in the hospital and I had my knee done the last time, the doctor actually showed me a picture. He showed Ron too, but Ron couldn't look at it. But if you saw how terrible it is, it's like something out of a very detailed, gory horror movie. Because basically, like, all the skin is just hanging out off the sides, and it's just a big bone.
Forget about it.
Well, our horror movie people like that stuff.
Yeah, but I don't.
Anyway, we're going to have a good show today. Before we get started, let's talk about some of the things going on. First of all, you can listen to the show. You guys, we had to switch our provider, so now we're on Podbean. So please check us out on Podbean. We're also on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Amazon Prime, and 360 TVN. So if you want to watch the video, you got to watch us on YouTube or 360 TVN, because all the other places are audio. I was checking out this chat room, but it's, hey, everybody in the chat room too. Thanks for joining us. And Cindy Lady Lake, thanks for putting out all the promos. And B. Claudia is not in the chat room yet, so hopefully when she's going to come in, we want to just give her.
I want to ask the chat room a question. In our interviews, what is more interesting, personal stuff about the star or their career? Let me know what you enjoy hearing more, personal or career.
Okay, so B. Claudia just joined us too. So actually, you guys, B. Claudia has been doing some total stuff, work for Eileen and I, and she's phenomenal. And so we're giving her a fake Nobel Prize for being a genius, because she's so freaking smart. So B. Claudia, congratulations on your Nobel Prize for being the biggest genius on the planet. and figuring out how to do all these impossible things for us. You are the best. We love you. Thank you so much. And they say both.
They
They
like
both
both.
parts, yeah.
So that's what we do. I mean, Jimmy does the bullshit and I do the personal. So, okay, it works. I was just wondering.
I also want to thank everybody for tuning in to Dark Frights Horror News with Jimmy Starr. Check out our magazine. It's darkfrights.com. And please keep watching because the podcast is doing really good. It's really short. They're like 5 to 10 minutes long every couple of days. So please listen to it and check it out. And listen to us on either Apple Podcasts or... Actually, that's the best place to listen because then we get paid. So listen to us on Apple Podcasts.
Get paid.
Where's
this get paid? Where is it? We're floating in the air. Get paid. I don't get paid.
You don't get paid, but
I'm like a whore.
Actually, we have to start all over because the other podcast host that we were on booted us our show off because they won't let you talk any kind of type of politics whatsoever. So we got kicked off. So we're starting on a new one.
Who talks politics?
Well, every once in a while we do, and we got flagged.
That's because they don't like the politics I talk about.
Well, so
because they're Democrats.
So anyway, it doesn't make any difference. If you talk politics, you can't make money.
Well, it's sad that we Americans have lost our freedom of speech. It's something we valued always, and we were proud of. It's something we always said to other countries, well, at least we have freedom of speech. And now we've lost that. And I hope that Trump is going to bring it back because we need to voice what we feel. We just can't live under a rock. And we can't be afraid of the other people who control the media for kicking us off because we don't do their politics. That's not fair. We're American citizens and we have the right to discuss our politics. Either they're Democrat or Republican politics, we're allowed to do it. And we should do it. And we have to do it because it's the fair way. I was raised with that. I was raised with Democrats and Republicans.
Well, that's why you got to do it on a political podcast and not an entertainment podcast.
I mean, my parents were socialists, which are communists. So I came from all kinds of crap.
Anyway, we're an entertainment show, you guys. We're going to keep it entertainment.
Yeah, but entertainment, you listen, there are very super intelligent people that listen to us. And they like a little political stuff because they're bored with just the film and the flam. And the guy is a wonderful actor and he's fabulous and he talks about how wonderful he is. The intelligent people are not interested in that shit.
I know, but our audience is interested in it.
No, but we have a lot of intelligent people.
Well, we were making a lot of money and now we're not. So let's switch and stop and go back to making money with it. And we'll talk about that other stuff in something else. We can start another show for that. People would probably tune in.
No, I'm not political. I'm very limited in my politics.
That's true.
I just believe in
free speech.
I believe in free everything.
That's right.
I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of who you are, freedom to be who you want to be, freedom to say what you want to say.
I agree with that.
Totally. Putting braces on your brains is not very good.
Yes. Actually, they all agree. And B said we have different opinions, but should have the same good hearts. Humanity. Yep. Perfect. We are all humans, and so we should all be trying to get along. So. No,
like my hair. My hair looks like crap. But some people will lie and say, oh, no, it looks nice.
No, I like it. And I'm not being nice.
Because they don't want to offend me. That's not right. You can't lie to somebody and say, oh, your hair looks good when the person knows it looks bad. They think you're a jerk. You got to tell truth. And if I say to people, do you like my hair? I want an honest answer. I don't want people to be afraid to answer because it may not work with me. And I'll get them off the show.
Actually, they say that you look great, though. In the chat room, they say you look great, but you look... Let's see.
I'm gaunt and skinny.
They want you to be flying in a video. I made a video of me flying, so they want me to make one of you.
Flying?
Yeah. It's on social media. It got 10,000 plays. I'll try to make one of his. Thanks, B. She says it's so cool. And they say you look great, but you look a little thinner.
I'm skinny and haggard and old looking. You know, when you get to be my age, you cannot be skinny because your face gets going. I look like a skeleton. You have to have a little bit of fat on you when you're my age. So I've got to get my weight back. You know, because of the experience I had when I was kidnapped by the aliens. By the way, I'm writing it. It's a wonderful storyline about an old guy who goes in the hospital for surgery, and he falls into that problem of the narcotic makes him hallucinate. And I'm going to take you into his hallucination. I believed it was true. I mean, I did not think I was hallucinating. I was really frightened. I kept calling everybody I knew to help come and get me, to save me. Called Jimmy. Why isn't Jimmy calling me back? Why is my daughter not calling me back?
He called everybody on the plane.
Why are they leaving me here with these people? These people deliberately are going to do something terrible. And they chose me because I can't move my leg, so I can't get away. I mean, this is all so real. It was like a movie. And I don't like it. Sometimes when I'm falling asleep, I think about it, and I almost relive it. So I'm concerned about the condition that it leaves your brain, because a lot of people get affected by this, elderly people.
Well, they're saying that they're very happy that we're back, and that we're both back, and that they think you look much, much better.
I'm happy I'm back and not with those aliens.
So we're going to bring on our first guest. How's that? All right, let's bring on our first guest, Steve Bacic. He should be there. Hey, what's up? You always wear Detroit shirts when you come on our show.
Look what can you hear me better with this thing?
Yeah, I can hear
okay?
you well. Yeah, I can hear you well. Look at you. Is that for your training when you're doing acting classes? You have the microphone now?
No, I just found this in my closet. I was like, I don't even have the stand. I don't even know if it works or not, but anyway.
Aren't you ashamed to come on television with that ugly face? Aren't you ashamed to show that face to the world? And you smile like you're gorgeous.
No, I've been to therapy, so my therapist says I should just go out to uncomfortable situations like this and embrace it.
Did you ever think of plastic surgery?
Right.
Well, yeah, every day.
Make sure he knows you're joking.
You know I'm joking.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm that good looking, but I think I think I.
Are you fucking kidding me? I had 4 people just today say they don't think they're gonna make it to the show. They think you're the hottest thing ever,
and so handsome,
and they think you're so hot. They wish they could see you naked. Like they send me shit. I'm like, why are you guys sending me that shit? Send that shit to him.
No,
but if you want to see, I have pictures of his penis erect. So if you want them, it'll cost $100. Yeah, I have it. Send me $100 and I'll send you a penis picture of his erection.
Well, there's OnlyFans, which,
Yeah.
on. Who knows? Maybe I'll need to. Who knows?
You really do. You have. I mean, I'm sure that your fans are great, and the ones who sent me things saying how gorgeous you are, they're all really cool people. But you have this other lady. She contacts me all the time. I don't know her name, and I wouldn't say it anyway. Okay. She's like, "Can you please send Steve a message? Tell him I love him. Tell him it's a happy birthday. Anytime there's anything happens in your life."
And she
sends me messages to send to you.
And she also said, "Tell Steve I'm wet."
It's a kid's show, right?
What did you expect today, Daisies?
I don't know. This is your first voyage after. And by the way, welcome back. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm your first guest since you got.
No,
right?
you are the third. You're the third show, but the first show he was kind of out of it because he was having some problems. The second show he could only do half the show because he was in too much pain to sit in the chair. So this is the first full show he's doing.
And I wanted to ask you, who did your dentures?
I don't have dentures. They're veneers.
They look fabulous. Like
I had,
You have
okay,
no,
look,
Stevie, you have no sense of humor. I'm
It
gonna
is a
come there
sense
and
of humor.
pull your hair out of your head.
listen. In the 70s, I had a dentist who I used to have the eye teeth, the big fangs.
You're
And
beautiful.
this dentist, he was a complete. There was when they used to give you the gas, and I remember passing out, and this dentist would be flirting with his assistant, and I'm pretty sure they were doing it over top of me. Anyways, this jackass, I had great teeth. He ground down my teeth. They're so thick. He ground them down, and then eventually they were chipping. So when they started chipping, I had to put something harder on. So it's like a cap. They're not dentures, but they're not whatever. But he wrecked my teeth.
But
The
your
dude
teeth
just-
now are beautiful. You have such a great smile. It's sickening.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, well, I wish you were as good looking as I am, but you're not, so suffer.
yeah, I know. How do you deal with it, Ron? How do you deal with it? All the adoring fans.
How you doing with the ladies?
I don't really. I have a girlfriend, so I'm doing good.
You have
Yeah.
the same girlfriend from the last time you were on?
Yep.
Oh, maybe you're gonna marry this
Over
poor
5 years.
How
Wait.
many?
5 years.
There you go.
How
Good for
many?
you. 5 years they're together.
No ring, no engagement ring.
No, I've been through that.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, if you were
I've
my
been through it.
if that were my daughter,
Yeah, I
you're
know.
asking. If that were my daughter, I would call Brooklyn and have you shot and put in the river.
Yeah.
5
What do you
years.
like about Ron? What do you like about marriage?
What?
What do you like about marriage?
What do I like about marriage?
What's the
Everything.
difference? What's it like?
Everything. Everything. I've been
how's it-
single and I've been married. I
Right.
love being married.
But can't you be in a relationship that you're committed to without state, without church?
No.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if you're that little stupid piece of paper says you're mine. And I like
Ooh.
that.
I don't like that at all.
Oh, I got it. Give me her phone number.
For a good reason, because I think that all the problems happen in relationships when one person possesses the other. The only thing you possess is yourself.
No. Marriage is a comfortable place.
You got to remember, though, he's from the marriage generation, even though I believe in it, too. That's why we got married. But
So am I. So am
but,
I. But the thing is, like everything, I don't take everything just because someone's told me that's the truth. That's the problem we're having today. Everyone believes everything they hear. They never question anything. I'm a big questioner. And when I woke up, I go, okay, I believe in commitment. I believe in teamwork. I believe in dedication. I believe in service.
Then you're married. You're married without signing a paper.
Yeah, a piece of paper. All the piece of paper does
You
is
believe in all the
visualize.
things I believe in.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I don't think I need someone or a piece of paper telling me that I'm in a relationship. And the only difference is the lawyers make a lot of money if you decide you're not in the relationship anymore, and 50 or 60% of the people decide they're not in relationships anymore.
yeah,
So-
Even
because he's divorced twice and you're divorced.
no, I'm not divorced twice.
No, not divorced.
Oh, you're not divorced?
No, I was
was-
widowed.
I only
Oh,
divorced.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Okay.
I divorced once and widowed once.
Yes. Okay.
But when I was going out with Jimmy thought he was going to fool around. Come to my house, jump me. I said, get
That's
the
what Jimmy
fuck out of
does. That's what Jimmy
here.
does.
No. I said, get out of here. That's not who I am. I'm not
Oh.
a backstreet guy. I said, if you want to be with me, you have to marry me.
Okay.
And he said, okay. Easy. And we got married, and it's 11 or 12 years.
12 years.
And it's great. I wouldn't want to be single. Oh, God, no.
Yeah, especially here in
No.
California where everything is terrible. What's it
Not
like
single.
in Canada?
I'm
Oh, no, you're
not
not
saying
single.
single. I'm not saying
Yes.
single. I'm saying that it's not. I think that people hide behind words, and they hide behind certificates, and they actually maybe you guys are different, but I'm the type of person that if I'm in this relationship, I don't take the person. They show up, I'm happy. Okay, I'm
How
happy to
does
spend.
she feel about it?
I'm
How
happy to
does
spend the
she
time with them.
feel
I
about it?
don't take them for granted. I think when people get into comfortable relationships, they take people for granted.
I agree with that 100%.
But wait, how does she feel about this arrangement?
I don't know, but this is like too personal to talk about. But I mean, we had the same point of view. We had the same point of view when we met.
We have the same point of view, so let's go.
But I'm dedicated to her, though. That's the thing. I am dedicated.
The conversation is not on the personal level. It's in a general level now. Women feel insecure if they're not married. That paper means a lot to them. Now, this woman has got to be in your company when you go out to a club and all the broads start hitting on you. And she's got to shut her mouth because she has no claims on you.
Nobody has claims on anybody. You go to a club, if a woman has a ring on, do you know how many guys hit on a woman with a ring on?
Yeah, more.
You know what the common excuse is? You know, well, actually, if you don't have a ring on, they say, "Well, where's the ring?" If you have the ring on, I know the guys will see it as a challenge. I know women. I know one of the gyms I went to. I thought it was a very conservative group of people. They were all married, all having affairs.
Yeah, we go anytime we don't really go clubbing, but if we go clubbing, he gets hit on everywhere we go. He gets hit on all the time. And a lot of times they walk right in front of me. I'm next to him, and they push me out of the way to go and talk to him. So you're right.
I usually don't go to clubs. So
no, they look at me. They say, "Oh, there's an old queen with money that's decent looking," so they attack me. But that's all bullshit. The young jerks.
So wait, I have a question for you though. Then
I have a gossip. I have a big gossip.
Stop it.
Do you know Tristan Rogers, the soap opera actor?
He won't know him.
I don't think so.
Very famous.
General Hospital.
He's been on General Hospital for 90 years. He's been on General.
Okay. No, I don't. I used to watch General Hospital.
His wife Teresa said to me, when they go out, the fans know that's his wife. And they absolutely push her aside, get between her to flirt with him, to hit on him.
Yeah.
And I said, Teresa, how do you feel about it? She said, I just let it happen. What am I going to do? That's his bread and butter. Do you feel being handsome? Wait. Do you feel being handsome is your bread and butter?
Not really, no. And I don't think it's actually served me. In terms of money, no, it has not served me.
You don't think you're hired because of your looks?
No. In fact, I've heard so many times that they're not hiring me because of my looks.
Why is that?
Either that or my agent's lying to me.
So does that mean because you're too does that mean because you're too good looking
for the part?
Because you're great looking.
But I'm not the one saying it. But depending on who's cast in it, it definitely affects. I know I've had a couple of shows that the leading men did not want me to continue.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh, I believe that.
I would see you as a threat.
I believe that too.
I'm only saying this as fact. I'm not saying this as my opinion. So, but going back to being out and about. See, I don't project the energy that I am available to anyone. Maybe maybe my eyes are blind and I don't actually see it. People might say, "Oh, they're checking you out." And I'll go, "Who is?" I don't look for it, and I don't see it.
Same way. He doesn't.
You know why? Because we've had it all our life. Since I was 7 or 8 years old, I remember with my mother, we were on a train going to California, and my mother met a bunch of women on the train, and they all said, "Oh boy, when he grows up, is he going to knock the women dead? Is he handsome? He's a little Rudolph Valentino." So growing up, I've always been told, "You're handsome, you're handsome, you're handsome." The only person who never said I was handsome was my wife. I asked my wife one time, I said, "You think I'm good looking?" She said, "Well, if I was walking down the street, I wouldn't turn around to look at you twice." And I divorced the bitch.
Right there.
So wait, I have a question.
Got rid of her.
I have a question. Is your girlfriend, is she in the entertainment industry?
Yes. Yeah.
So did she, when you guys met, however you met, did she know that you were, a relatively pretty successful movie and TV star?
She didn't think much of me.
She didn't think much of me. Wait, let him finish.
No,
Go ahead.
But listen, I couldn't care less either. Like I'm not impressed by if a person looks good, great. But if they're an asshole, I couldn't care less what they look like.
No, I agree with that. So
And I was, and you
Is
could
she a
say,
hottie? Is your girlfriend a
I'm
hottie?
sure
oh
she
yeah,
is.
she is. She is.
So,
Yeah.
blonde,
So-
sexy, big boobs, great legs.
All right, let's get on to this. Let's get on to the top.
So one thing about you, though, so you guys, I met Steve at a convention called MegaCon. It was a long time ago. I don't know what, maybe 2006 or something. I don't know. It was a long time ago, right? That I met you.
Long time
And
ago.
everybody was lining up, and he was nice to everybody, and that's why he
Well,
always had a
because-
huge line
listen,
of people.
Listen, I remember Steve from other shows that he's been on. How many? You're on us 3 times now, right?
This is our fourth, I think.
4th time you're on.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
And I remember you as an easygoing, nice guy. That's why I play with you the way I do. If you were a stuck-up piece of shit, I would never have, asked you, or I would never have done what I did. When they come on and they're attitudey and they're like, "I'm a star, I'm handsome, don't talk to me," I don't give a shit. I don't.
Our
play.
audience doesn't like him either.
Yeah.
Listen,
I bring out the honesty in our guests. And
Yeah.
Steve, I got to tell you, you're an honest guy, and I trust you with my crazy questions. I trust you. Sometimes you got to be careful because a guest could get mad and answer back nasty.
Yeah.
But you have fun. Okay, so
So here's what we're
just
gonna
tell
do.
me, is she a blonde?
No, she's actually in the movie as well.
What movie?
Oh, the movie that we're going to see, that
movie
we're
that-
going to talk about in a minute. So, you
Oh.
guys, the last time Steve was on, we were talking about a film of his called Alter, which is on Tubi. Now he's got another one that just came up on Tubi. It's on Tubi, right? Not Roku. I wrote Roku.
It's on Fossum TV and Tubi, which I don't know what that is. I think it's like I don't know. Anyways,
What's the name of the
So
movie?
the name of the movie is A Shrink, a Flat, and a Broken Key.
Wait a minute. A shrink,
A flat
a flat,
and a broken key.
What an interesting title.
So tell us something behind the title.
Wow, is that? I want to see.
well,
the
it's
movie.
about the shrink. It's about a flat. It's about a broken key.
There's the picture, you
What
guys.
an interesting title.
Which,
I want to see this movie. A shrink,
Yeah.
a flat, and a
you should
broken.
see it.
Oh,
It's actually a lot of fun. Even though it's a thriller, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that's a great title.
Thank you.
So how did you come up with the title?
Well, it was God. My writing partner actually is Greg uses different last names for his writing. Greg Kingslat or Greg Michaels. He uses different names all the time, so I get confused which name to use. But anyways, Greg and I came up with the concept. He wrote the script. When we decided to pull the trigger because of circumstances, locations, and those and characters, the way I wanted to ship the story, I rewrote I went through the whole script and rewrote it to fit the type of characters I wanted to bring in. Originally, it was very poignant. It was very politically charged. It was a very charged script to start. I wanted to be a little more subtle with it. I wanted to be a little bit more fun with it. I didn't go as hard as I wanted to go, and I don't want to talk about how hard it was. I want to talk. I really wanted to be controversial, but then I thought, you know what? It's not the place to be controversial. People can take from it what they want. I still make some statements, but the original idea was Greg's and I, and then Greg did the meat of the work. About 3 months out, I decided to rewrite to fit the characters I wanted, and I completely changed. I completely shifted the appearance and the set, and that kind of changed. I don't know. It's literally stuff you wouldn't expect to happens.
So I have the overview. I took it off of IMDb. Is that a good description?
Should be, yeah.
All right. So Grace's unconditional love for her son Gordon turns into a dangerous obsession as she fulfills his twisted desires. However, their lives turn upside down when a stranger with car troubles, that's Steve, enters their isolated world. Gordon sees an opportunity to improve his killing skills with the help of the stranger, a criminal psychologist who's willing to teach Gordon how to kill and not get caught in the exchange for his life. But as their plan unfolds and Grace's jealousy turns to betrayal, Gordon must confront the truth about his past and decide whether to break free from his mother's grip or continue down a path of violence and manipulation. This psychological thriller would keep you guessing until the very end.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So, when I read the synopsis, I kind of like thought it was a, I don't know, did you ever see that movie, Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
With Kevin Costner and
I
Dane.
love that. Yeah.
It made me think of that a little bit, not exactly the same, but a little bit, on the fact that one person's willing to teach the other, wants to teach the other one because he gets blackmailed instead of killed.
What I'm happy about is it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's called a story.
It does have, it actually, and if it does flow, even though I had to change courses a couple of times prior to shooting and then once during shooting. I had to redirect the characters. I was able to loop back and connect all the story points. So I think because I literally changed the ending while shooting, you might notice what I did. Hopefully no one notices it, but it's not what you think. Let's just put it that way. It's about relationships. It's about perception, and not always judging a book by its cover.
Does it have a Hitchcockian ending?
I hope so. I love Hitchcock.
Really?
Here's what we're going to do.
Wait, quiet. Can we see it tonight?
Yeah, we can see it's free. It's on
We're going to
Tubi.
watch it tonight.
It's on. So you guys, this movie is free. It's on TV, on Tubi. So is his other film, Alter. So right now, Juan, we're going to play the one that says "Shrink a Flat in a Broken Key" trailer. I guess it says, or it's the one that's the MP4. Introduce it for us, Steve, and then hang on. We're going to play the trailer for everybody.
Great. Hang on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. You're about to watch "A Shrink a Flat in a Broken Key," the trailer. Rated R.
Look at that, Mama! I think I did really good.
You'll come to know me as 50. A runaway. If it wasn't for some bad luck, you might not know me at all.
My goodness. Sweetheart, are you okay?
I pray you never meet them.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I had some car trouble down the road.
The wolves in sheep's clothing.
You want a beer?
Sure.
The demented who hide behind their God and their reason.
I can help you. Both local law enforcement and the FBI have enlisted my help as a profiler.
Sound like you have all the answers to get away with murder.
I do.
Am I hearing this right? By me sparing your life, you're offering to school me to be a better killer.
If that's okay with your mother.
Their sick love.
I'd like to do more than just hold the camera this time.
My story, this story, takes place because of a shrink, a flat, and a broken key.
Yay!
Yep. Looks like a little bit of Psycho in there with the kid with his mother.
First of all, the guy who
I
plays,
love mommy too much relationship.
I don't know who is that plays Gordon. I didn't write it down.
Jonas Stark.
He is
He
very.
was a student of mine, and he's I think he's a Baptist or Born-Again Christian. And we used his location, and he'd been out of the business for a little while. But I just remember him. I thought this guy would be just the best Psycho because he's
He
so
really looks good.
He looks like Psycho.
But I spent about a month and a half working with him before I decided to do it. And I just wanted to see if I can get certain things out of him because that's not his nature. He's like the sweetest person. But by slowing him down, and I gave him a couple of character, like we worked on some physical tics, and he was able to sustain them, and they seemed to work. So yeah, he was the right essence for that character. Originally, it was supposed to be white trash tattooed, wearing a proud USA hat, guns, Jesus, America, that sort of thing.
It was better that you didn't do it that way.
Me too. I think so.
And make him a normal looking person who's psycho is way scarier.
He's beautiful. He's beautiful inside and out. Like, he's one of the most beautiful people. The kid is just genetically gifted as well, but he's such a sweet person to work with, and trying to do a little indie like that with like we talk about ego or anything like that, it's next to impossible to pull off finishing a movie, let alone with someone that has an ego or is,
right.
So yeah, Jonah was great.
I think it
was great. I think you have a good movie there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think the story flows. Given there were a lot of obstacles. I had an editor who was my camera guy who just would not listen to me. And I found out after the fact, when I'm looking at dailies, he was moving the camera during the shot. I was literally watching the monitor, script supervising, producing. I was doing everything, writing on the day, setting the shot, rehearsing. And then I come to find out he's moving the damn camera. So I had to work with what I had. I didn't get exactly what I wanted for the movie. I had a TV version, a director's cut, and then I had a really gory version. But because of the inability to manage this one person, he lost the TV version. I had a TV cut, which I could have sold for licensing. So, and also I had a more of sort of that gore fandom version that I was going to do. I had an extra couple buckets of blood I didn't get to use, because it was so much time was managing a personality. And then in the editing, same thing. It was literally like pulling teeth every day. I had to sit with them in every cut. But talented guy. But he just didn't want to. I don't know what it was about him. So I didn't get an egotistical actor. I had a passive aggressive camera guy editor.
Audiences today are bored to death with kickboxing, car crashes, and all that shit.
I hope they're bored.
Now, audiences are starving for stories. We all talk about it in the business. Everybody now that does horror movies is starting to turn around and make stories with horror, not just slash with no sense. So what's happening is anyone that's got a story has a hit movie.
I think it's going to be a hit too, as long as people know about it.
Because it's got a story and it looks like an interesting story.
Which I'm going to segue.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say I'm going to segue into a different conversation from there, because you said you worked with him for 6 weeks before you even worked with him, which segues into the fact that you're also a script supervisor that can fix scripts, and you also teach people how to act, and you've been doing it for a long time, and you're in some really huge things. So I thought we could. I don't know that we ever have really talked at all about the fact that you actually teach acting, to people who
I love that
who want to learn
acting. I don't believe teaching.
I haven't. I'm very bad at promotion. So
yes,
I'm just coaching a couple of people that one my daughter brought in, and she's been with me for 9 months. She's already booked a couple of things. She came from a full-time program. I'm not going to say what school it was, but it was a full-time program, and I had to uneducate her. And then she brought a friend, and neither of them had agents, neither of them had. And they both started to gig. They're both starting to get it, and that's less than a year in, once a week.
That's perfect.
So the thing is, but it was interesting.
So you don't really call it teaching, though. It's coaching. There's a difference between coaching and teaching.
Because you cannot teach anyone to act. I don't believe in that. You can show them the tricks to the trade, but the best actors I know have never taken a lesson. It's in them. Carol Burnett is one. Her comedic talent was never taught. She was.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of actors from my day. I can't think of one right now, but like Rock Hudson, people like that, they were not taught to act. They just became who they were. their personalities.
Did you take acting lessons growing up, or did you just start acting? Like, how did you actually get into doing all this?
Well, I actually, that's one of the reasons why I never wanted to coach or teach anybody, because what I soon realized was, well, not I soon realized, it took me quite a few years to get out of being coached or being directed by someone who's not doing what I want to do. A lot of them are actors who don't work, and their system is about their ego. It's got nothing to do with the practical aspect of human psyche. It's got nothing to do with the camera. So the way I will disagree and agree with you, Ron. I think that I've proven I can teach people how to act, because I've worked with people I thought there's no way I could help these people because they came from musical theater and they were terrible. Within a year, they became still, they became themselves, and they became real in the moment. So I had to do that. It wasn't that they could do that instinctually. Well, in a sense, it was like I was letting them know it was okay for them to be their authentic self in a made up situation. I just heard a very successful actor talk about that you don't have to take classes. All you got to do is read the script 250 times. You don't have to do all this work. And I'm like, yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. If you know the material so well that you just become the material, great. You just live in that circumstance. You live in that circumstance because you've absorbed it. That's okay for an A-lister because they got 3 months, 6 months to prepare for a role. We get what the night before. So there is a respect that I think I didn't have for the craft. I do have more respect for it now. That's only because I've married human psyche, what we as human beings are, and the craft of acting. Otherwise, I don't think I'd stay in this business because I think it's full of shit, if I'm being honest. Okay.
Well, you can remember stuff on one night. Like if you get a script the night before and you have to go shoot, you can do that. I guess TV, you do a lot of TV.
Well, yes. Yeah, you have to. You haven't got a choice. But there's ways. I think what I try to do for people is I try to create a system that they can, it's like a skeleton. Now you can apply yourself to the framework of the skeleton so that you can hang yourself better. And if somebody gives you a script the night before, you know what steps to take so you can become efficient at finding out the most important aspect of that scene, of that story, and how to be in it. You know, and it took me, I was asked to create a program about 10 years ago. I never really thought about it out loud. I would just tell people, don't go to acting classes, read Shirtless Audition. Michael Caine wrote a book about acting for film. Meisner is a good one too. But then there's Stella Adler, Uta Hagen, Stanislavski. All they are is a bunch of people who've been aware enough to make an observation about how to communicate somebody else's idea. But how do you know how to communicate an idea? How do you know what you're doing? You have to know who you are. So the first thing I tell people is know who you are, accept who you are, and share who you are. And that's all about awareness. It's about being aware, being in the moment as much as possible. So worst case scenario, if you're on a set and you don't know shit, but you're present, that's way better than chopping up a scene, breaking it down, and doing all the acting work. Ultimately, you do all the work so you can literally be present, so you can just be in the moment. So it's kind of one of those, it's a paradox because you don't want to show the work, but the work would be basically knowing who you are. So you can give yourself to whatever that situation is, whether it's 1980, whether it's 1884.
How old were you when you started? Like, when was your very first thing? What was the first thing you ever did?
Jump Street. 21. I did a guest star on 21 Jump Street was my first thing. I think it was in 91.
Oh my God, I love 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, but Johnny Depp was gone already. Johnny Depp was gone.
Okay.
That was the year. So it was a guy named Michael Bendetti that was the guy I worked with.
Okay.
Yeah.
When some young people ask me questions like, Ron, what do you do to act? What makes you an actor? I said, what makes me an actor? Here's what makes me an actor. I read it. I think about it. and I become it. That's all. Am I
Yeah.
right? You read the script, you think about who you are and what you're going to do, and then you become the character.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
all I
simple-
do, I agree
it's
with
a
that.
simple math. See,
All I
that's what
do,
I do.
what I do is I give them more specific tools to do those three things.
That's perfect.
But years ago,
So
that was how we were in the 1950s. That's
Yeah.
how actors were trained. You had to become the part. There's nothing worse than a fake actor or an actor who's
so much is fake.
actor. Huh?
So much is fake right now. Everything's about we need this composition, we need this funny moment, but there's no continuity to it. There's no connection between the characters because they haven't given themselves enough to the moment. It's all about. You know what I'm tired of?
Roles. The minute they say roll them, I'm no longer who I am. I become who I'm reading. I really do. I go into a trance.
So you guys too, though, if you're a Steve Bacic fan, you go on Tubi, he's got another movie on there called The Haunting at Silver Falls.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty good. I have this publication called Dark Frights Magazine. It's becoming one of the bigger horror magazines in the world, and I do a little 8-minute podcast with it. And on Monday's show I did a Steve Bacic episode where I did a Shrink, a Flat, and a Broken Key, and I did a Haunting at Silver Falls, and I got like 5,000 views, on it, nice. Already. I don't promote it or anything. I just put it up there. But I said, for fans of Steve Bacic, he's a great guy, and like really, you're one of the only actors I know kind of well hasn't been pigeonholed. Like you're doing Hallmark stuff, you're doing horror stuff, you do superhero stuff. You've basically done everything. You haven't been pigeonholed to only be a horror actor or only be a Hallmark actor.
Yeah, I just did some comedy too. So yeah,
and sci-fi. I mean, because like what you were at Stargate. Continuum. You did all the what did you do on Legends of Tomorrow? I used to love that show.
Oh, that was actually the Travel Back in Time. It was during the prospecting times. I played some landlord that was really mean to his workers. Just a horrible human being.
I love that show, and like one of our best shows that we've ever had. It was with John Barrowman, and John Barrowman played the Dark Archer in Arrow, and he was like, and he was also, what's that show about the fucking telephone? Doctor Who. He had his own spin-off show from Doctor Who because he was so popular.
And we opened the show, and there's John with a blow-up doll tongue kissing her.
That's what he did when we brought him on. People like
married.
Yeah, no.
That show got such a rating you would not believe. The rating was outrageous.
No, I bet.
John tongue kissing a blow-up woman doll.
I like all of it. So Dawn has joined us in the chat room. She's one of the people who thinks you're swell. So just give a hi and say hi to Dawn for me.
Hey, Dawn.
There you go.
You're swell too. Be swell. Stay swell.
So you guys, here's some of the things that you might have seen Steve in. These movies, Shrink, a Flat, and a Broken Key, and Alter. These are his movies. He put them together. Raised the funding or whatever, however he did the funding and stuff. So they're like, independent films, but he's also been in so many huge non-independent, like huge things. But here's some of the TV shows. First of all, Ron's daughters love that show, Virgin River. I didn't even know you were in that.
Oh yeah.
According to IMDb, you're in 8 episodes of it. He was recently on Tracker, you guys. That's the Justin Hartley TV show. You were great in that, and you weren't pretty.
No.
They didn't make you pretty in that one. But you guys, he's in like all these Tea Garden mystery movies. He's in a ton of them. The Garage Sale Mysteries. I think is that all that Hallmark stuff? Is that those are Hallmark shows?
Hallmark, yeah.
You're in a million of them. He was in the Nancy Drew TV show, Van Helsing TV show, When Calls the Heart, Maid, The 100, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Wilderness, Sight Unseen, Supernatural, ER, Julie and the Phantoms, The Order, NCIS LA. He's also he was Hank McCoy in X2 X-Men United, and to me that's his biggest
non-role.
biggest non-role of your career that I so wish you would have become him in the next movie?
If they hadn't changed directors between that movie and the next one, I would have been Hank McCoy. Bryan Singer would have brought me back as Hank. That's his business. And so, listen, when you get success, great. When you don't get success, great.
Yeah, but you guys are so. You're lucky.
Sorry?
You fellas are lucky. Your generation. If I were your age today, I'd be working my ass off also. But the time that I came from, you had 3 major stars in the movie, and you were lucky if you got in there as an extra or as a walk-on or whatever. Today, so many people are doing so many things on so many different vehicles.
Yeah.
My day, it was a movie camera, a theater film. So you were limited in your workability.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I really wish I were 35 years old today. I'd be all over the place.
Every time has had its challenge. So while there was less opportunity, there was also less actors. Now every personality is an actor. There's YouTubers who are starring in TV series. There's MMA fighters. There's football players. There's rappers. Right now, it's all about numbers, as it has always been. But like you guys said earlier, you know, we celebrate people who do nothing in a show. And that means they're just being simple and they're just being human versus this explosions or graphics or whatever. So while we have so much more, there's way less good storytelling.
There's way less good story.
We goes back to
every night. We can't find anything like everything that we look at, and we're like, "That's the same story, same story."
When you see someone doing something simple and good, you go, "Wow!" But really, that's just the way it should be. You know, like we should never be watching a show going, "I'm watching a show." I watch a show to be pulled out of my reality and pushed into another reality. That we don't want to, and that's the thing. It's like if anything bumps me, I go, how do we fix the bump? I don't want to knock someone out of the movie. I don't want to knock someone out of a show. So even though if I'm on a set that I'm not part of, if I see something, I respectfully try to go, hey, what about this? Because, you know, going back to being prepared, I don't believe in knowing just my stuff. I want to know the story so I can actually contribute fully to the truth of the story versus just the truth of my character. And that requires work.
I don't think many people do that either.
Steve, bottom line, we do not have good writers anymore. Period. The writers are gone with the wind. I don't know where the hell they went, but the writers that used to write about human people, you know, human nature, are gone.
Excuse
me. Now it's, I need $40 million because I'm blowing up the Empire State Building. That's my movie. Okay, here's $40 million. Who's in it? Brad Pitt. Okay, here's another $40 million. Who else? Angelina Jolie. Here's another $40 million. And they make the piece of shit. And you see these 2 stars in it for 1 minute. And you watch the Empire State Building fall down and crush half of New York City.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
I agree with what he's saying, except for I don't believe that the writers aren't there. I just believe people are afraid to risk the money on them. Because I read a lot of good scripts.
No, in my day, writers wrote novels, and the novels became movies. Today, we don't have novel writers that make movies. We just have writers.
That's exactly what we have. The limited series are usually based on books.
Books, yeah.
There's like 6 to 8 episode limited series, which is the big craze right now on Amazon and Netflix.
Netflix has some good ones.
You know how many friends I have that are writers? You go out to dinner with them. No.
That was a question. I thought it was a question.
That was funny.
I happen to have a nephew who's a writer. You go out to dinner with them, and the waiter falls down, and they right away take out a pad. Oh, that's a good movie. The waiter fell down. I mean, let's shoot it tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an idea. It's the same thing. Somebody goes, oh, I have a great idea for a script. No, you just have an idea. You don't have a great idea for a script. You have an idea. That's it. It's a skit.
You have to
story.
you have to get the people's interest.
I
Absolutely.
think I think that's true.
But why do you think they think Meryl Streep is such a big deal? You know why she's a big deal? She only does wonderful scripts. She doesn't play in shitty scripts. So it's not her that's so wonderful. It's the script. We could put Susan Sarandon in that part and she'd be just as wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's a script that makes an actor.
Yeah, there's a big, massive collaboration and trust, because you can have a great script, great director, but if the editor messes it up or the soundtrack's terrible, the producers want to do a re-edit, it's collaborative. So
there's so many things that can fuck it up.
Do you remember the French lieutenant's woman?
I don't remember the movie. No, I mean, I know it, but I don't remember it. The white French
one of the best writings of all time.
Yeah,
and she's brilliant in it. All because everybody. Anyway.
Yeah,
it was wonderful.
I like it also. Let's brag a little bit for you, because we've only got a couple minutes left. First of all, here's what I'm going to tell you. So you work all the time. I think it's terrific. But if you became social media savvy, which I know you hate, you could be like the biggest leading man ever, because your social media numbers just are not strong, because you're so talented, you're so good, and you're in so many things that you really need to either work on it, or you need to find somebody just to do it for you, and you need to let somebody build your social media, because you work all the time anyway. But I think you would even work more, and you would have a bigger fan base from all of it.
I have the same issue with
sorry. Go.
I was going to say I have the same issue with what I'm trying to do with my idea of what acting is, and trying to create a course, maybe even a book around it, because I also want to talk about the human condition. You can't have one without the other. You can't, I think acting is being in the human condition fully. So my issue again is the steps necessary to, I don't want to be famous. That's the problem. I'm on this. Sure, I'm doing a podcast. I don't want to be famous. I don't want everyone to know who I am. I don't like putting personal stuff out.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
So the idea of social media, I'm posting all the time or showing what I'm eating or doing, I just find it painful. It's so painful to do. I don't mind talking about acting. I can talk about acting for hours. I can talk about the craft for hours. I can debate. I can philosophize. But that is truly, you're right. It's like, I got to get over that so I can reach a bigger audience, because I do want to say something.
Steve, listen to me. Listen to the old fuck, okay? Listen to me. We go out to 5 million people all over the world. They now know about your movie. If it wasn't for this show and social media, they wouldn't know about it. So you've got to be social. Listen, people say to me, Ron, how come Jimmy's all over the place and you're not? I say, because I'm still learning how to use my cell phone. I don't know how to use this shit. I don't know how to be in social media. And you know what? Who cares? At 85 years old, come on, give me a break. But you're young.
I actually took your trailer. I was going to put it on all my socials, but I wanted to make sure it was okay before I did that. Because I can put it on my socials and make it. I can get the.
Here's what I'm going to ask. Actually, I will do a little promo here. If I mean, I'm hoping everyone watches it that's watching it right now. And if you like it, thumbs up, and please send the trailer, because it's free, to a friend, and keep sending it, and just keep sending it, because if I do get, I'm at the place where I'm okay being who I am right now and not being in the business, but if I do get involved in something else, another production, this will help motivate me to do something more with this industry.
Absolutely.
Meaning, tell another. I do have an idea. I have a great idea that I could shoot for a series. It's the stuff I like to do is dark comedy. And
does.
Even when you watch this trailer, or not the trailer, but the movie, I try to infuse a little bit of humor, even though it's a thriller. I always try to infuse humor, but I've got a couple ideas for how to approach this business that isn't the typical Hollywood model. So if there are people out there, they like my stuff, and Jimmy and Ron, I appreciate any help. Like I said to you, Jimmy, I would work on anything you're doing. I would come in and help out. If you want my ideas, I will collab any day. So yeah, I appreciate the idea.
But I'm going to put your trailer on my TikTok and on my Instagram because, like,
that'd be great.
I get like 10,000 views pretty much on everything.
Yeah, if you could do a haunting, because I still actually a haunting is that was one I executive produced. That was a macro. It's a massive script that I would go in daily, and I would trim the scenes for the director. So I still get paid if that sucker is seen. COVID actually helped me on that one. But yes, absolutely, put them out if you can. And who knows? Maybe we'll collab on something. And if people are interested,
remember, Steve, it pays to advertise. An old saying, but
it's advertising right now.
Pays to advertise.
If people are interested,
I just texted you the link to the Dark Frights Horror News where I did a show about you.
Okay, well, I'm going to text you back, and if people are interested, even if there's actors out there, because I may hold a Zoom class teaching my method. It's called The System. So if there are people out there that are interested in what I teach and they're interested in acting, I am willing to teach anyone, but they have it. The only a prerequisite is that they actually will put in the work. I put in a lot of thought and energy into what I do, and if somebody's not giving it back, it's a waste of time. But feel free to share, not my personal email, but I have one for the actorsgym@gmail.com. I'll send you a text. If you want to post it in your description, that'd be great.
I'll put it with the description. Don't worry, I'll never give anybody your personal information. I mean, already, like every time you come on the show, probably 30 people like ask me to get in touch with you, so they, like crazy female fans.
maybe for a good price.
Yeah, it's gotta be indecent. The proposal has to be indecent.
One of those wet women out there.
Oh Lord!
Want your personal information for $500? I'll send it.
No, you're living. See, that's 1950s money. We got to live in 2025. We're talking like a couple $100,000.
$5 for a Coke.
I know, it's crazy.
So you're right about that. So you guys follow Steve on his Instagram, though. Steve Bacic Official, BACIC Official. Follow him on his Instagram. He's a really cool guy. He doesn't post on it very much, but I'm going to kind of like make him start posting shit because it really wouldn't be that hard for him to just at least put up things saying, here's the link to see my movie, and this movie's out. And you have so many things going on because you have plenty of stuff to promote to make yourself. I mean, if people
this movie he should promote a lot. I think it's going to be a hit.
I think so too.
I just did. I want to tell you, I just did a show. It's for Peacock. It was a lot of fun. It was a great cast. It's called The Miniature Wife with Matthew McFadden and Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, I love her.
But I didn't get a chance to work with the two of them, but it was. I'm really hoping they come back. Great, funny dramedy, well written, well acted, great director, great producer. So this is one that I'm going, come on, man, let's get a second season, and hopefully they bring me back.
We should also, everybody should see Blackway.
Oh yeah,
because Blackway, you guys, it's a great cast: Ray Liotta, Alexander Ludwig, Julia Stiles, Anthony Hopkins, Steve Bacic,
Mr. Hopkins. Yeah, he was awesome.
I saw a picture on your IMDb or someplace with you and him hanging out, and so everybody should check that one out. But see everything. He's in the remake of The Virginian. He's worked with Ray Liotta a couple times, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's very cool. Check out the movies that are on Roku. I mean, on Tubi, you guys. A Shrink, a Flat, and a Broken Key is the one we showed you the trailer for today. Steve will be in touch. I'll talk to you later. And thanks for coming on the show.
Guys.
Seeing you.
And thank you for being a sport.
You too. Hey, Detroit Lions, baby. Let's go.
That's right.
Detroit
All
Lions.
right.
Fuck yeah. True
Yeah,
grit,
fuck
baby.
yeah.
Let's go, Detroit.
Hey!
Let's go. If anyone's got season tickets, I'm coming down to Detroit.
There we go, Detroit. Him in
That's good,
Detroit.
right?
All right. Thanks, Steve. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you guys. So that's Steve Bacic. Again, the name of the movie is A Shrink, a Flat, and a Broken Key. Just came out on Tubi a couple of days ago, so please check it out. He's really just the coolest guy ever. I mean, I feel, you know, I don't know if blessed is the word, but I'm just happy to have him as a friend. We talk all the time, and you know, and from somebody who I met at a convention, you know, to us being a little bit more like peers is very cool. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so we're gonna do a quick. Actually, maybe we're not. I think because Melanie's here, so let's just bring our next guest on. How's that? You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's bring her in. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
So hang on, let me introduce you. Hey, everybody! Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actress, dancer, stage actress, final girl, superstar Melanie Kinnaman. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, and thanks for inviting me. How
I'm
thrilled.
excited because I know everybody in horror just about, and you're one of the only people that I've never actually met. So we're very happy to have you on the show. This is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host Ron Russell.
Hello, Ron. Nice to meet you. I'm so surprised we haven't met.
I am too. We're Facebook friends, but that's not the same thing as meeting. But we've
You've
had
the reason you've never met is you don't travel the gutters like Jimmy.
I might soon. You never know.
I've been a big horror fan for my whole life, and this show has been going on for this is our 17th year. We didn't have there was no such thing as a podcast when we started. It was just considered a radio show back then.
And a podcast where we saw the people.
Oh yeah, we started out though without seeing the people. But
we were the first show to have guests on like that.
Yeah, we were the first people to do video podcasting.
Everybody
copied ahead of everybody.
Everybody copied.
But when we started the show on our station W4CY, they brought us in and they were surprised how many people tuned in. And they after 2 weeks, we went from a 50-minute show to an hour and 50-minute show. And all we did was bring on at the beginning. It was all horror stars. I mean, every horror star. You know, we've had Freddy Krueger and Pinhead and Clive Barker. We've had everybody because that's really my thing that I like a lot. And I produce a lot of horror movies. So we hadn't had you, and I was super excited when you said yes. And before we talk about horror, first we have a chat room with people. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody. Nice
There you
to
go.
almost see you.
Yes, almost see you. So I want to bring up a movie, and you're not even in it, but you're supposed to be in it. So my favorite go-to feel-good movie is called Best of the Best. We've had I'm really pretty good friends with Kane Hodder, and we've had Eric Roberts on the show. And I watched it like before I knew you were coming on. Even I was like watching it, and then I went on your IMDb where you were coming on, and I saw that you're in the credits of it.
Yep.
And I went back and I watched it again, and I was like,
Where is she?
Where the fuck is she?
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yes, I had 15 callbacks for that audition. I so wanted that job. They put me through the ringer. I got it. I play Eric Roberts' girlfriend. And they decided after all was said and done that they needed to make more room for the action, meaning the fights, all the action. So they got rid of the love part. And that was me.
Because at first I thought maybe you were the girl that Chris Penn grabs the ass of, and that you just look different or something. I was like trying to figure it out, and I was like, okay, so it makes me happy because I literally watched. I've seen the movie 100 times. It's one of my favorite movies, and the fact that you're not in it, even though it says you were in it on IMDb and in the credits. I watched the end of the movie, and you're in the credits.
I know. Well, thank God I'm in the credits because I still get residuals.
But, there you go.
Yeah, I asked for the footage. I mean, they were great scenes. I asked for, please.
The footage?
Yes,
Did they
because
give it to you?
No,
of course
because
not.
I know this is going to go way out there, but a lot of it was Eric Roberts' fault. So I'm going to leave it at that. There was a personal reason.
Okay.
Question: did they pay you?
Yeah, of course.
She still gets residuals, she said.
No, that's all that matters.
No, of course they paid me, and it was a great shoot, and I was thrilled. I so wanted this role. I mean, Eric Roberts was one of my favorite actors, and it was a great role for me. And like I said, they put me through.
When that movie came out, too, he was a huge star. He was like on top of the world.
Who?
Eric Roberts.
Oh, Eric?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So, you know, and they didn't tell me that I was cut until the cast and the crew screening. I brought my agent. We were all excited. We're sitting there. It starts to roll. I nudged my agent. I said, here's my first scene coming up. Nothing.
Nothing.
So we wait. 3/4 into the film, I say, oh, they have to have this. Nothing. Yeah. So they didn't even tell me. It was a big shock. And the director came up.
That was very disappointing then.
I can't even tell you what I went through. And the director came up to me after the screening and said, you were so great in this. Welcome to Hollywood. Is I don't need to tell you.
Yes, Hollywood is shit.
And there are very nefarious characters in Hollywood, especially.
That's probably the most, the thing that all actors fear is being cut.
Which happens a lot because we've had a lot of people on the show where they say that they've been cut out of different things. And even he's had stuff that he's been in where it was
I've been cut. I've done some pretty good stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And it never crossed
my mind. I knew I did good. And
right.
It was cut.
It never crossed my mind when doing this thing. And I thought, well, at least if they cut anything, it'll be a few things. It's not going to be the whole freaking role. Because it was a love interest, the only love interest for him. And so it was a shock. But how kind of them to leave me in the credits.
Yes, actually, that is great because the residuals, I'm sure, are nice. And there was a huge, I mean, as a martial arts film, it's probably one of the best known martial arts films ever that there is. And I literally watch it a lot.
You know what the embarrassment is? When friends say to you, oh, I'm going to watch the movie you're in. And you say, I was cut. And that is such an embarrassment because
you know what's worse? When you say you did this film and you're not in the credits and there's nothing remotely mentioned.
Oh yeah, that's worse.
Well, they think you're lying.
Yeah, that one's actually worse.
That one's worse because I have a few of those where I'm not in it at all. There are no credits. And so I actually stopped saying I did it. And it was some great stuff. But, they think you're lying. So
where are you actually from?
New York. Well, Massachusetts, Western Massachusetts. And then I moved to New York City at a young age and started working professionally there. So I always.
Like a New York girl.
I love New York too. I love New York. I love it. Yeah. So I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
I mean, you
totally look New York.
Oh, well, that's a compliment. So thank you very much.
Yeah. He loves it.
It is.
And you look very much like a dancer. Like you're still built like a dancer.
Thank you. Yes, I still dance and I teach sometimes. I give private lessons because it's fun and it keeps you in shape. And, I used to teach kids, all kinds of people. And now I've limited to teenage girls that want to be professionals. You know what I mean? It's more fun. It's more engaging to have people that are serious,
So how's your love life?
It's great. As long as I stay away from Eric Roberts.
She said it's great as long as she stays away from Eric Roberts. Because she said Eric Roberts and she had to leave that. There you go.
I find Eric to be one of the strangest people I've ever worked with. He really is a strange guy. But his sister's a lunatic, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's the reason I got cut from the film. But we won't get into that story because I'm writing a book.
Oh, there you go.
A chapter on him. I have a chapter on Nicolas Cage, and I have the whole chapter on Harvey Weinstein and the big fiasco of my life with that. So,
when the book comes out, let me know. We'll come back.
Okay.
I totally help promote that. That's fun. I love that I love that gossipy shit.
I knew Harvey Weinstein back in the 80s.
Oh.
And he used to be every opening in Beverly Hills. So the opening of a garage door, and he was there.
So Ron and I have so Ron used to have a TV show called Set the Record Straight. He was best friends with Jane Russell, and he knew Elizabeth Taylor and Betty Davis and all those older people.
Lauren Bacall.
And I was always big with the '80s people. So like I was friends with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and all the '80s kind of people are my friends. And so we combined. We got married and combined the show. And so we bring on a little bit of everything. And you've been around doing so. What made you decide to become an entertainer in the first place?
You know, people closest with me know that my idol is Dick Van Dyke because he can do everything.
Wow.
Since
Nice.
Dick Van Dyke, since I was 7, I just idolized Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews, believe it or not.
And he's still working.
Yes. Also on Broadway, Joel Grey and Bernadette Peters. Those were my idols. So I started out as a singer-dancer, and that propelled me into the New York stage. And that is why I wanted to become an actress, really. But I started out in musical theater.
Didn't you meet Bernadette Peters and tell her she was going to be famous or something?
I met Bernadette Peters many times. The first time I met her was in a fabric store down in the village. I was shopping fabric for whatever. And she was this little girl who was very sweet, and she was there with her sister.
Huh.
And we got to talking, and I said, "What do you do?" And she said, "I'm a singer, and I'm going to be on a Broadway show called Dames at Sea." And I said, "You know what? I have a feeling about you. I think you're going to be a great star one day." So that was it. Now, years later, she's a star, and I went to see Blackbeard with Richard Burton in Manhattan. And when we came out of the theater, Bernadette was there with a guy, and I stopped her. And I said, "Hi, remember me from the fabric store?" And she looked, she said, "You won't believe it, but I do."
Wow.
I said, "Get out of here." She said, "You said that I was going to be a great star." I said, "Well, you are, Bernadette." She said, "Thank you so much." Very sweet girl.
Yes. And her cousin turned out to be one of my makeup artists on Friday the 13th. And then everything I did after, I brought him on because he was so great. God rest his soul. He died 3 years ago. But Lou Lazara, her real name, last name is Lazara. Lou Lazara.
Bread. I used to buy their Italian bread.
Yeah.
Lazara made the best Italian bread.
Yeah.
And that's who her father was, Peter Lazara.
Yeah, Peter Lazara. That's the family. And I just think she's the greatest, most incredible voice, just a great
Very
person.
sweet, very down to earth, very nice girl.
Yeah. I also like Leslie Ann Warren. She was somebody that I aspired to be.
Oh, I like Leslie Ann Warren a lot. Actually, I just invited her on the show, but she
I
never
do.
responded.
I love it. I love Leslie Ann Warren.
And she's a wonderful person.
So were you a fan of horror movies before you booked Friday the 13th? Or
No.
seen the other? Had you even seen, because you're in the 5th one, but did you see the other 4?
No, I didn't even know what it was when I went to the audition. Then they told me, because they were interested in me, that it was a Friday the 13th, which meant nothing to me anyway. So I got it pretty quickly. I had only 2 auditions, and they gave it, they cast me. And then I said, "Well, listen, I don't know anything about this. I'm not really a horror fan." They said, "Well, don't tell anybody that." And I said, "So can Paramount give me part 4? So they gave me a private screening of part 4, so that I would know what
was going on.
Yeah. And Kimberly Beck is a friend of mine, so it was kind of nice to see her do her thing in part 4. But it gave me, the education of what I had ahead of me.
I've had a blast with it. Wait
a second. You're a horror actress, right? Basically.
Yes.
You are. You're
not basically, but.
Well, you're like me. I'm a horror actor, and I hate them.
The only movie that I like, it's not quite horror, is Exorcist. The Exorcist to me is the greatest.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
No, so I'm a big horror movie fan. I'm producing a bunch of horror movies right now, bigger budget horror movies, and I collect. So one of my very first things that I ever got in my horror movie collection, I have a 6.5-foot Jason, animatronic Jason. I have really good stuff. And I was very, very good friends with Steve Dash, who was actually Jason in the second one where they wore the bag. He was a very good friend of mine in Florida. I used to live in Florida near him. And we've had everybody who's played Jason on the show.
You have.
And I'm pretty much friends with most of them. And we've had a lot of the actresses. I have not had a lot of people from Friday the 13th, The New Beginning, on the show. You're only our second one, because we had Corey Feldman on the show. Right. But I think it's a great franchise, and if you were gonna not like horror, but you were gonna be in a franchise, Friday the 13th is probably the best one to be in, because everybody.
Do you think they're gonna keep going with it?
You know what? There's so much legal stuff going on. I don't know what to say on that. I know they're doing new series. I was supposed to be in the original Crystal Lake TV series, but now everything's changed. So yeah, there's supposed to be a new series on Peacock.
Yes, Peacock's coming out, which I think that looks like a lot of fun. And I'm actually getting ready to do a movie. I don't know if you know who Adam Marcus is. Do you know Adam Marcus?
Yes, no, Adam Marcus. Yeah, we do a lot. I do conventions and I see all the.
Yeah, you see them all. So Adam Marcus is directing one of the films that I'm working on.
Okay.
Right now. It's a werewolf movie though. It's not it's not like this. It's a little bit different. But
Right.
so tell us a little bit about. So you got it. You booked it really easily. It has a great class. I met Dick. I don't know Dick Williams.
Dick Williams.
I've met him a couple of times, but he hasn't been on the show. And Deborah Voorhees, I've met a couple of times, but she hasn't been on the show. So how was it for you coming into being in a horror movie that you didn't really like horror in the first place, and you didn't know what it was, and then it blew up, and it just blew up.
Listen, I was cast as a lead character in a Paramount film. It was my first lead. I had done other stuff, but so it was very exciting, needless to say. I didn't attack it as a horror film. You know what I mean? It's you treat every acting job the same. So
that's a good way to look at it too. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you treat it all the same, and that's how I was able to do it. I didn't know what it meant to be a final girl. I didn't know any of it, thank God, because I think it would have been a little daunting. You know, it's best to go in not knowing anything. And so I focused on the character. I focused on what I was trying to bring to the film, but also the character, because not a lot was written in the script for me. So I was on my own. And that gave me
the hot one though, because you're so gorgeous. So you're probably the hot one.
I'm the oldest final girl. The final girl is always like a 19-year-old, you know, and I was playing a shrink. I think I was supposed to be around 26 years old. I was a little older than that. But yeah, I'm considered the oldest final girl they ever had.
So
but
for anybody who doesn't know what a final, I know what it is. I don't think he'll even know. Tell everybody, because we have a lot of viewers who don't do horror. Tell them what that is.
The last one standing. The final girl is the character. It's always a female. Is the girl who kills the famous killer. Okay. In my case, it was Jason, or the figment of Jason. So the final girl is the last one standing.
So you guys know. Remember when we had Caroline Williams on? She's the final girl in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, and we've had a lot of final girls on because
whatever happened to Caroline?
She's working a lot.
I just saw her. Yes.
Have you seen her lately?
Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah, we do a lot of conventions, but we just did the closing of Dark Delicacies, if you guys know that store. It's a local.
I really like her so much.
Yeah.
I really like
I'm
her.
a publicist, so I was her publicist for a
Can
couple
I
years.
interrupt the show for 1 minute, please?
Yes.
The reason, folks, that I'm itching all over is because I'm taking Tylenol powerful, and I think it has codeine in it, and I'm very allergic to codeine. So if you see me doing all of this, it's not that I smoke.
We both just had knee replacements.
I didn't snort coke.
So we look good here, but we limp when we walk.
That's hilarious.
I've been doing this throughout the show. I don't want to think I was blowing cocaine.
There you go.
It's
so you're a final girl. So I follow Dark Delicacies, and I see all the things, and I'm friends with many people who do signings and stuff there. We don't live in LA. Where do you live? Do you live in LA?
Yeah, LA.
Okay. We're in Palm Springs. So I've never been to Dark Delicacies, and I was very sad that it closed because I always thought that that's something in my older age that I would like to open up something like that.
Yes.
Because I collect action figures and books and all that stuff, and I think it would be a lot of fun. And I know everybody to get people to set up signings and stuff, so I think it would be a lot of fun. And I actually host I have a website called Dark Frights. It's one of the top horror publications, and I'm toying with how I'm going to put together like a Dark Frights horror weekend where I can have everybody come in and sign and do it like do conventions and stuff with it. But it's still kind of new, so I'm working on it. But so besides Best of the Best that you got cut out, you guys, first of all, on TV, you saw her on Cheers, Hill Street Blues, The People Next Door, General Hospital. I love General Hospital, and we've had everybody from General Hospital.
So you worked with all our friends.
Yeah,
that's great.
Sean Kanan, and we had
Sean's a best friend. He's a doll.
Actually, I don't know. He might not have been on when you were on, but Sean Kanan used to be on it. Now he's big on Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah, he's Bold and the Beautiful. He wasn't on when I was on. I was working with Tristan Rogers and Eric.
Yeah, Tristan lives down the street from us.
Tristan's a friend.
And Tristan.
Rick Springfield. Woo! Yeah.
We haven't had Rick Springfield, but
He's
I'm
great.
friends with Jack Wagner. And we've also had
Jack Wagner, yeah, they were all on.
we also
I think
had
everybody was on that show. It's like a high school graduation.
Ian, what's Ian? The really good looking like model guy, Ian. I forgot his last name. He's gorgeous. Anyway, he's been on the show, so we've had all the soapies. We like the soapies; they're fun.
They're interesting.
How was it being on General Hospital? Did you like that?
It was great. It's my first job in LA. I had just moved here. I went to an audition and I got it. And we shot on Catalina Island because I was part of a whole spy ring. So we were on a yacht to get there. That was all filmed, the whole thing. Yeah, it was fantastic. And it was at the time, the yacht owner was Judge Judy.
Oh, wow. Judge
Judy.
Judy.
She was Judge Judy. Yeah, she owned the yacht. Yeah.
I also saw on IMDb you were on an episode of Saturday Night Live.
I did that. The most thrilling thing, it was the late 70s. I was living in New York. I auditioned. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the Battle of the Network Stars. Remember that?
Yes. Battle of the Network Stars, yes.
Yeah. So it was a spoof on the Battle of the Network Stars, and I played Cheryl Ladd, and there was someone played Charo. There was Belushi played Charlie from Charlie's Angels. So it was great. I got to work with them. We rehearsed for the whole week. Gilda Radner, fabulous. At the end of the week, you do the tech rehearsal. Then it's live Saturday night, and the musical guests were the Rolling Stones.
Oh wow!
Rolling Stones. So it was a thrill.
You've actually done some really very cool things with all of it all.
Yeah.
Do you still sing?
Yes.
You look like a rock star. Actually, like you look like you could have been someone who was a huge rock star.
During the time that I got blacklisted by Harvey Weinstein, that's a whole hideous story, and there's a big lawsuit, as you know. It's history, but he blocked me from working for a good 10 years. So during that time, I got creative and said, I need to do something. And I had a band, and we played everywhere. And the name of the band was Bliss. I was the lead singer. And I had some people from local LA bands that had formed Guns N' Roses. So I had some pretty heavy hitters in the band, and we went everywhere. We even toured in London. So it filled those years of not being able to work in the business. The only studio that hired me was Paramount.
I don't think she looks like a rock star. She's too beautiful and too perfect.
I know. I mean, like she looks like a beautiful rock star. Some rock stars are beautiful.
No, rock stars are dirty looking, sloppy with crappy hair. You know, she looks like a movie star, a lady.
Thank you very much.
Like a lady. You're very ladylike.
I don't see tattoos all over you.
No, I don't have one tattoo. I'm not into that.
I think that's
them, but I don't want them for me.
I said it. You're a lady. You look like a lady. You behave like a lady. And that's from my generation.
Yes.
The young people today are common, vulgar, and ugly.
Yeah, for the most part, you know.
So
and
you
the
did
sad thing is women want, the young girls today want to be like guys. I don't know. I'm sure the theory behind that is men get treated better. So maybe they want to play in that.
I don't know what that is. Because, I'm like gay and I don't understand, like, I don't really like with gay and lesbians. Like, I don't understand lesbians who want to be with a woman who looks like a dude.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't like guys who want to go out with guys who wear dresses. It's just something.
I don't get it. I'm with you.
I don't get it. Like he's super butch and like.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So that's what I like. But so you did a movie recently. It's a horror comedy, and I don't know what you did with it, but almost everybody in this film has been on our show.
Oh, it was so fun.
Smash.
It was a documentary. It was, what do they call it? Rockumentary. Yeah. What do they call it? Mockumentary.
Mockumentary.
So I played myself, kind of, and I play a scream queen who hates horror.
Oh, and that kind of is you.
Yes.
A scream queen who hates horror.
I played myself, and I talked about
it. Is that a James Balsamo film?
No, that's the whole. This was, let me think who you would know. Michael Epstein was the writer
Yes.
and director. Yeah, yeah, Michael
Well,
Epstein.
so here's the people. Wait, because here, listen to who's in this film. First of all, Lorraine Landon is one of our best friends.
Oh, cool! I haven't met her yet. I'm going to meet her at a convention, and I think she's doing a convention I'm doing. Yeah,
she's fabulous.
I
You will love her.
Lorraine is my movie star. I love her.
Michael St.
Well,
Michael.
I'll tell her that I just met you.
Yes, tell her that you met
And
us.
tell her Ron Russell gives her kisses.
Okay.
So Mark Patton is in it. He's been on our show. Jennifer Rubin's in it. She's been on our show. Adam Marcus has been on our show. Lloyd Kaufman's been on our show. John Dugan's been on our show. Todd Farmer's been on our show. Sean Clark I've known for 25 years. Bill Johnson has not been on our show, but I've known him for like 20 years. And then it's got Helen Udy, Richard Elfman, AJ Cutler, Bill Whedon, and Vincent Craig Dupree. I mean, a lot of people, but like more than half the people have been guests on our show.
DC Dupree from Friday the 13th. He's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's fun. So it's a mockumentary. So it's a horror documentary comedy.
Yes, comedy. Yeah.
I love
What's the worst script you've ever gotten?
Oh.
The worst. The
Well,
really most terrible script.
I turned it down. I still get bad scripts, you know. I still get stuff that comes. The worst one, I don't think I can say it because they're still They're still out there. I don't want them mad.
I bet I got you beat. I got a script. I got a script. They wanted me to star in, and the script is called Drag Queens from Outer Space.
Oh.
I was going to be a drag queen, and my planet ran out of men to eat, so we came to Earth to eat men. And part of the script was we were eating a human being, and somebody said, "Oh, give me the balls. Give me the balls. They taste the best."
Ah! Thank God.
Wait a minute. I got the script and I showed it to my friend Marcel Waltz. I said, "You want to make it?" He said, "You're out of your mind." I said, "It's disgusting."
Yeah.
It was. So we sent it backward. Thank you.
There are a lot of bad ones out there, and more and more. And I just, I'd love to work, but I turn them down.
I get pitched about 50 of them a month.
Yeah. I read.
And I don't even read. I don't have time anymore. I have like 6 projects that are in development, and I don't have time.
You know what I love? When I read a script and it reads like this. I asked him, "Don't do that."
Oh.
Written by an illiterate that doesn't know the English language.
Actually, I have some films coming up that if you actually are. I didn't know if you were still working a lot or not. So
I am. I just got a film that we're going to be shooting in New York City in January 2026. I'm so excited. I just signed the contracts, and it's a sagging. Yeah.
Good
but we
for
shoot
you.
it next year.
That's okay. I mean, because it takes a long time to get funded and everything. So
be a bad person, so I'm thrilled.
It's like nice to know it though. So you also did a movie called Thunder Alley.
Yes.
And I'm bringing it up primarily because
Garrett?
I didn't see it, but Ron knew Leif Garrett, and I know Jill Sholin.
Yes.
And Clancy Brown, I don't know, but I love Clancy Brown because
great.
Starship Troopers is one of my favorite movies. I love it. I see it all the time. I watch it all. That and Best of the Best are 2 movies that are on my feel good list when I'm in a shitty mood.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
It
was interesting. I play a heroin addict.
Oh, there you go.
It was
What'd you
great.
say?
Leif Garrett had the most beautiful mother. His mother was absolutely magnificent looking.
He adored his mother. He and I became close friends after that shoot. He
Did
adored
you know his mother?
And he's a great guy. I thought he was beautiful.
He was gorgeous yes.
But his mother was so beautiful.
Yeah. I didn't meet her, but he showed me pictures. Yeah.
Oh, I wrote it down. You did do a James Balsamo film too. I Spill Your Guts.
I did that.
I like James Balsamo. I mean, his movies are a little bit, but but he's a good guy and he makes a lot of films and he has fun. He always has fun, which is a great thing for him.
It's not really my thing, but he gave me a great role, and so I enjoyed it. It was fun. My role was very classy, so I didn't have to do anything icky. Yeah.
I also like so Ron just finished a movie not too long ago, Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell. Ron's in all these clown movies. And so and in Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell, Mark Hoadley, Ozzy Capri, and Dietrich Thrall are all in it. and so it's kind of like our 6 degrees of separation. And
seen it.
Ron's in the second one and the third one.
Oh,
He's done 4 clown movies in like 2 years.
great.
Which he doesn't really like, but they're not terrible. This last Clown Motel, 3 Ways to Hell, is going to be a good one.
I play General Milan, the head of the army, and I'm out in the desert in Nevada killing 122 clowns, by the way. It's the most clowns in any movie. No, really. It's the most. You got to see it. It's a joke.
I'll have to see it.
I mean, 122 clowns, all painted and crazy, jumping around, stabbing and chopping.
The reason I'm particular is because, once you've done it, it's on film till forever.
That's right.
Forever. You're seen forever in that.
But you know something?
What I do.
I don't mind this film because the kids are going to love it.
There
and
you
if
go.
it makes children happy and laugh, I'm glad I
They're
did
very
it.
campy. I mean, I don't think they're supposed to be campy, but they're very campy.
I don't do these movies for adults. I do them for kids.
Sure. I mean,
So
part
he-
5 was campy, wasn't it? Of all the Friday the
I know,
13th.
it was very,
Yeah.
Part 5 of her Friday the 13th movie was very campy.
I think so. Well, I don't think it was originally meant to be, but it was. And it's Quentin
lot of the
Tarantino's favorite horror movie. Quentin Tarantino's favorite Friday the 13th is part 5.
I think it's a great one. I just watched it the other day just because I knew you were coming on, so I wanted to
I
watch
have
it
never
again.
seen one of them.
I've seen
I
all of
haven't
them.
seen any of the others except 4 and 5. No.
Never.
No.
I don't even watch the movies I'm in.
No.
Do you watch the movies you're in? Do you like to watch it?
It depends. Yeah. I like to see if what I tried to project came through, but I don't continually watch them.
Yeah, I don't either. I think
Once
it's
is
fun.
enough.
So here's something I like to ask all the actresses that come on, actors and actors, I guess. Bucket list,
Mhm.
male and female. If you could work with any actor and actress, living or dead, who would you like to have worked with? And then the second part of the question is, if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
The actor is Al Pacino,
There you go. That's a good one.
and I would have liked to have been in Scarface.
There you go.
What?
Which is Al Pacino. Scarface.
Well, I think that would have been a great role for me, but she was incredible, so I'll leave it at that. But I think I could have really
Done
a
it.
good job. Absolutely. So yeah,
Okay, and what's an actress who you think would be fun to work with?
an actress that'd be fun to work with. Oh well, she's gone now. Let me see. God, there's so many. I think
she can be dead. She doesn't have to be living. She can be living or dead.
I think Carol Burnett would have been fun.
Ron loves Carol Burnett.
Oh yeah.
Carol Burnett would have been fun. Karen Black, I adored. I would have.
Oh, he went on a date with her.
I went on a date with Karen.
I would have loved to have worked with her. I think she was just great. Yeah.
I love Karen. We
And I would
almost killed
I would
on
love to work with
television.
Christopher Sarandon.
Oh, he's great.
Yes, and I've met him, and he's wonderful, and I would love to work with him.
Yeah,
My
he's
favorite movie of all time, not that you asked, is Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Karen Black and I went to a dinner party at a friend's house in Manhattan. And we left the party and we were crossing 3rd Avenue. And I said to Karen, wait for the traffic. She was drunk and proceeded to go across the street, stopping all the traffic. I thought they were going to kill her with her scarf. She was doing like a toreador.
I got to meet her. She was
sweetie. We had the best time.
And I got to meet Louise Lasser, who I thought was also a very interesting person.
I don't know who that one is.
I don't know who that is.
Mary Hartman.
Oh,
But
we had somebody on our show from Mary Hartman.
But
a guy.
Karen Black paid me the best compliment. At the end of the evening, she said, Ron, you gay guys make the best date.
Oh, it's so true.
Best dates.
You don't have to
Best
worry
dates
about
are
anything.
No,
You go after
we had fun. She had
Yes.
to pee. Okay. Now we crossed 3rd Avenue and she says to me, I have to pee. I said, where are you going to pee? There's nowhere to pee. She said, let's find a store. I said, maybe a Starbucks. So we're running up and down 3rd Avenue and she's yelling, I have to pee. I'm telling you, it was funniest night of my life.
I'll
She's a
bet she
funny
was
girl.
great.
She's a very funny girl.
Yep.
So-
I
With
love
dry,
playing her.
dry sense of humor.
I like Dog Day Afternoon also, and so my favorite actor, even though my favorite actor of all time is Lance Henriksen. I love Lance Henriksen. I've been to dinner with him. I've been to breakfast. I used to be so the way I built this show before Ron was involved with it is I was a celebrity clothing designer. I used to make one-of-a-kind clothes, and I would take them to the conventions and invite the actors to the room, and then I would give shit away as long as I could take pictures, and we would become friends, and that's how I got them all on the show, because I had Lance Henriksen and Malcolm McDowell on our show. We'd only been in existence for like 6 weeks, and I had these huge people coming on.
He's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So Lance Henriksen is one of my favorites, and my prized possession in my collection. I even have all these. I have every action figure of Lance Henriksen in my collection. But I have a tile, and it's the alien. He makes these ceramic tiles of the alien monster. He doesn't sell them or anything. He just makes them. Yeah. But after we had hung out at the convention all weekend, at the end of it, he wrote on the back of the tile, "You're the coolest motherfucker I ever met," and he signed it and gave it to me as a gift. And that's like my prize, possession in my collection.
Isn't that great?
So he's one of my favorite. But I went to breakfast with Doug Bradley, who is Pinhead.
Yes, I know.
Doug Bradley, Lance Henriksen, and Malcolm McDowell. We all went to breakfast together, and for me, that was just like a, something that you never forget, like a monumental thing that happened. That they called me and asked me to go to breakfast, and I went to breakfast with them. And my other one was Clive Barker. Clive Barker, who's fabulous.
And my most favorite person in the world is Sophia Loren.
Oh.
I made a movie with her in 1959. I played a soldier, and she was the most charming, elegant, beautiful, warm, loving woman. I fell in love with her. I'm still in love with her.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I'm in love with
nobody like her. Nobody like her.
And her face was just enchanting.
Yeah, well, just everything about her.
I told Jimmy, let's find a script, because she's looking to work at 90.
Yeah.
Let's find a script for her that I could be in it. I started my career with her. I could end my career with her.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Hunter also was in that movie. And
He was a nice man.
We became lifelong friends.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. I mean, I think this business has a lot of messed up stuff, but there's also a lot of fun stuff with it.
I love the business.
I think that you have a remarkable reputation. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. I've never heard, have people sometimes say negative things about different celebrities. I've never heard, and I know everybody, I've never heard a single person say anything negative about you. Everybody's like, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you're charming. So I think that really is a big testament to like you and what you've done and what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You guys too, you can follow Melanie on Instagram. Her Instagram is at Screen Siren with a 5 after it. So Screen Siren 5. She's also on Facebook. If she has room, maybe she'll add you. I don't know. So do you have anything coming up that we have 2 minutes left that we should tell people?
I'm doing a bunch of conventions this year because it's the 40th anniversary of Part 5. So I'm going everywhere. I'm somewhere every month till the end of the year. Then in January of 2026, I'm doing this feature film, which I'm excited about. I can't tell you, I had to sign an NDA, but as soon as I release from that, I'm going to talk to you guys and brag. So in 2 weeks, I'm in Atlantic City, appearing with a lot of the people you've mentioned. And then that's the rest of the year. I'm going to Canada in June.
How do people find out your schedule? How do they find out where you're going to be?
On Facebook, so people know where I am.
There you guys. You guys check the Facebook and the Instagram, you guys.
Yeah, I put it on Instagram and also Facebook so that people will know where I'm going to be. And then there's a big convention, Friday the 13th, 45 years. I think you've heard about it. It's going to be in Burbank, August 8th through 10th. Yeah, I'm doing
Tommy. With Tommy.
Yep, August 8th through 10th. Tommy Brunswick. Yes, the
Tommy Brunswick. She's been on our show like 5 times.
Oh, wow, I'll tell her I did this.
Tell her you did it. We love her. She's fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to thank you for coming on the show. Anytime you have anything to promote when the book comes out, I definitely want you to come.
Thank
Let
you
us
so
know
much.
about that. It's been such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Best of luck with everything you have coming. And anytime you have anything to promote, just let me know and we'll bring you back.
Thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Hope to meet you in person one day.
I hope so. Yes. Let's do that.
All right. Bye-bye, Melanie.
Bye-bye, Melanie.
Thank
All right,
you.
everybody. So we had a great show today. Melanie Kinnaman and Steve Bacic. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week because it's time for us to go. Bye-bye.
Jimmy,
This is MC Alfred. I'm just chilling, Jimmy Star, yo, sitting down and designing. Where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bacic, I'm your one I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you